G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is a Cremator, not to be confused with a heavy incinerator. This is the Creation Club variant, and on screen right now, if I remember, should be the Fallout 3 and New Vegas variant. So, different weapons, but they do look fairly similar. This thing looks a lot heavier than the heavy incinerator, but that's neither here nor there. So this is originally a weapon from Fallout 76. It's a new one. I did a review of it. I can't remember what legendary effects I put on it, but it was a pretty good weapon, and I'm sure this weapon will be very effective in Fallout 4 as well, and it certainly looks the part. I'm not totally familiar with what the Cremator looks like back in Fallout 4, but this thing looks pretty spot on, bordering on stolen assets, but it's all free, it's all legal, it's on the Nexus, so everything is on the level. Now this thing can best be described as a hybrid between a grenade launcher and a flammer. It'll fire the flamer fuel 10 at a time. That requires a mod to actually get that functionality, but you'll fire a fiery ball that arcs through the air and explodes on impact in multiple different color flavors, which will mirror some of the attachments that you can put on this thing in Fallout 76. So let's get into it. You can get out of here, by the way, because we're looking at the Cremator. So it's got a standard tank, a napalm tank will increase your damage, and a slow burning tank, which increases burning duration. The question is, do you want the damage now or later? You want it now, so the napalm tank easily the best solution here, but I suppose if you want really good DPS, or damage over time, that's DOT, then sure, but I'd rather have the damage right here, right now. Now onto the barrels. I've got a standard barrel here, just shoots the normal projectile. There's a double shot barrel which will fire an additional projectile, so presumably double the explosion, which the damage might be unlisted here, but that's got to be more effective. You've also got an option for a heavy barrel here, which will increase your damage per shot to a huge amount there, 301, and the DPS goes up significantly as well, but of course it is heavier, that's your penalty. And a multi-shot barrel, which appears to be a quad shot setup here, which fires 3 projectiles, so I guess one of those barrels cools between shots. It alternates between that one. I mean, either that or one of those barrels are just painted on, I guess. We'll go for a heavy barrel here, go for a maximum DPS approach. We'll move over to the propellant tanks. This is your magazine, so you can have a standard, fast, that's a faster reload, I suppose, a large, it's higher capacity, and a huge propellant, which is even higher capacity, but it's got a reload speed penalty. We can cover that through quick hands, so that's fine, no problem. A legendary effect is here provided by a legendary modification. Something like rapid would be good, powerful would not do much in terms of its base damage. Looks like it doesn't cover the explosion damage that we're getting out of this thing. Fascinating. 2-shot would be pretty strong as well. And yep, that's even more evidence that the damage of the explosion part of it is unlisted. And your last attachment point controls what color the explosion is going to be. So generic fuel is your standard looking red explosion, but you can have copper chloride, which is a blue flame, copper sulfate, which is a green flame, and lithium, which is pink. Cool. Let's go for blue flames on this one. We'll be testing this out on multiple different colors though, because I think explosions are pretty. Anyways, that's our napalm Cremator in blue. There's a unique. I'll show you to get them and then we'll find that unique. The Cremator is injected onto the level list, specifically the legendary list at level 1, but you'll also find it at level 15 anywhere you might find a flamer. So if you go over to the Forge, well, they're going to be significantly more dangerous. You kind of don't want to be on the receiving end of this thing, but you can find it on those guys if you're too cheap to buy it yourself, but like that's under 400 caps. Granted, I've got a bunch of charisma and the buying perks, but that's fairly cheap. I think your limiting factor here is going to be flamer fuel, to be honest. The unique version of the Cremator is located within the mass fusion disposal site, which on the map is right here. You've got Natick just across the road, Mass Pike Interchange. You go there with McCready for your quest. With him, then you've got Vault 81 there and Diamond City there for all your layman's out there. So you could honestly just follow the road out and you'll get to here. You can't miss it. It's a big giant pool of radioactive barrels and other terrible environmental things that pre-war companies did. But what you want to do is find this tree. Next to this trunk, under the staircase, you'll find Firestarter, which has 15% faster reload and 25% faster fire rate. Not necessarily in that order, but the rapid legendary effect, pretty nice to have. Okay, we're back at Immersive Gunners Plaza with a software update. Hopefully Shadow Play isn't flickering anymore, because that was getting on my nerves. Anyway, so here is our Cremator in first person, and in third person, it looks like that. Pretty cool. You fire it, uses the same sounds as the version in Fallout 76. So it uses the missile launcher firing sound, and the detonation sound is that of the plasma grenade. And I guess that you wanted to make it feel true to its version in Fallout 76, but you've got all of these sounds and pretty much everything at your disposal. I think you could have gone for better sounds for this one, but I suppose it's true to what it was. But yeah, there's room for improvement here, just a room to make it sound cooler than just a thunk and a fairly generic boom, which I think if it was more of like a flamey effect, the same effect that happens when you light up some, like a gas room, right? Just a big raging fire effect rather than this weird abstract plasma thing, but I'm sort of nitpicking here. So that was the blue explosions with the heavy barrel. This is fire starter, twisted fire starter. If I hammer the trigger, I'm firing this thing pretty fast. This is the double shot barrel, but as you can tell, the accuracy on this thing when you hip firing is actually pretty good. So you can't really use the spread of the two projectiles to cover a larger area. And the same thing goes for this quad barrel setup that only fires 3 projectiles for reasons. Like, the spread is so tight that you're not really getting much out of the extra spread. So you may as well just have it all concentrated in one big giant hit with the heavy one there. But yeah, that's what they all look like, and the reload animations, of course, same as your flamer, and I'm just gonna top off the magazines for all of them. So yeah, at 10 per shot, at 360 ammos, 36 rounds per magazine, which is pretty good. So I'm gonna just get some indirect fire going on. They'll eventually find me, but if I can get a couple of cheapies like this, then that would be pretty fun. It's hard to gauge the trajectory of this, so we'll just move right in. And maybe we'll use a little bit of VAFs, because if you're standing there like that, there we go. We've got 3 crits out of that. Perhaps a couple of rolls of Grim Reaper Sprint in there. Looks like the explosion effect isn't as generous as I thought it was, so we're gonna have to be a little bit more accurate with this thing. But in slow motion, well, I think it's almost too easy, so we'll go over this one and just lob them at sort of a close to medium range. I think we can out DPS these guys fairly good. Although, this bird's gonna fly. Let's carpet bomb them from up here. I was debating doing this like with a jetpack, and I could probably get away with that, but nah, I'll just use the the grappling hook in slow motion to launch myself up a bit. And these guys are still carrying around Scar Owls. That must be heavily favored in the old level list. There we go. I think I just got through that gap there. Otherwise, I'm able to actually punch through collision walls with this thing, which I don't think I can. Oh, that's done the job. Okay, we could probably open this up a little bit more utilizing the, let's see, the double shot version. I think I've killed most of them already, but this thing should be better for a more singular DPS role. So if I was targeting the one person, I need to get as many shots of them as possible and as quick as possible. This seems like a pretty good choice. It doesn't look like that the over-under double barrel is going to be doing me much good. There's an invisible person with a missile launcher there. We tanked that. Yeah, I'm not particularly impressed by the double shot barrel. Let's go over to the pink one now. That was only a baby gunner, so that's to be expected. Whoops, almost killed myself with this thing. And it looks like just from this small amount of testing that, yeah, the heavy barrel is definitely the best. Just to get all of that extra, all of that damage all in one hit, in one spot. Less predictable. I mean, more predictable, which is honestly better for me. To this prick. I'm sure I would have one-shot them if I was utilizing the heavy one. So let's bring out the old heavy barrel again. Open this up. Sweet. And then we'll target this guy. Completely whiffed him. Okay, this might take multiple tries. Yeah, okay. So with that headshot, we just killed him in one hit. And that's pretty much the story of it. So I think a couple of balancing things you could do here, just to either increase the other barrels to be at least competitive with the heavy barrel, or reduce this thing so it's more in line. But you could argue that it's pretty overpowered in its heavy form. So yeah, it's funny that it's only gun nut rank 3 level dependent. So yeah, that's kind of cool. This is Carla, by the way. We've put her in a outfit today. Look, if you ask Carla, she says if you ain't standing out, you ain't worth looking at. And it's certainly an interesting look. If you're gonna put any complaints, file them to someone else. I didn't decide to put the sunbonnet on her. That's totally not my choice. I was browbeaten into making that happen. Anyways, let's move on. Okay, time to take the swan, and no, the game doesn't look different. It's exactly the same as it was the last little clip. Anyways, so there's Swan's reincarnation, and perhaps this thing's major downfall is the fact that it's got a pretty low range. Now, that's accuracy ain't quite that good, so we'll be lobbing some of these backed with crits, and then we'll just sort of hit him in direct fire. Now, unfortunately, our Cremator is far too big, so I can't really see what I'm shooting at, but I'm getting a decent enough confirmation on screen that I'm hitting him, thanks to the fact that we're seeing these damage numbers spring out. And if you want to get a feel of what that DPS is like, you can see it. All of those ones are coming off as the damage from this guy. Yeah, the damage over time, which I don't know if that's stacking at all. I mean, it's not going to budge his 30,000 odd health bar just by, you know, sitting on him, but it's there. By the end of this, I may have got a couple hundred points worth of explosive damage out of it. No. You see that, Mr. Bighorner? Were you impressed by that? Or are you just going to start chewing on the rocks? I don't know. Those guys have to be built different if they can extract minerals out of rocks like that. It's the rudest Bighorner I've ever met. He's going to cheap shot me in the back when I'm not facing him. You got a problem, mate? The talk prompt doesn't do anything. Okay, so I've replaced the double shot barrel with the heavy barrel on Firestarter here. So, yeah, whilst he's tracking me down, I'm going to kill some of these insects, and we might be able to pull a some gun food damage out of it. Because if you look, the AP usage on this thing is kind of alright, and that might be because this thing, at least for VAFs, is using, it's like a flamer, right? So it's using way less action points than it ought to, and the Mysterious Stranger just got absolutely wrecked. And it looks like we can perma-stagger this ghoul to death, so yay, we won. Also, I like the green effect. It's like we're hitting him with like a Vada Cadaver or something. It's the killing curse from Harry Potter, I think. Anyway, so yeah, we got the job done. So that was pretty good. What else am I going to do with this thing? Okay, so I've figured out what I'm going to be doing for this next one, and it involves a jetpack. So let's fly over everyone and blast them from orbit. So we'll get a sprint happening first, and then we can fly. And just like Fallout 76, we can just rain death from above on all of their enemies, and all of these melee guys would have absolutely no chance of countering me. The dudes with guns can still shoot at me though, so we've got to deal with those guys. Anyway, so old mate has let all of his dogs out. We can dispatch all of them in one hit, and the double tap on all 3 of them. And, oh, where are you? Oh, I dare you to come out that door. Do it. Here he comes. Is he gonna do it?
Here, human.
Oh, I forget that they can't see through glass like us. It's a huge advantage that we have over Bethesda AI. Okay, so we'll take flight again. I don't think we can put anything through the frame of this roof, so we'll go down to the bottom and clear out some of this these trash mobs. And now we get to the main course here, which is this gigantic dog who are going to perma-stun whilst flying in the air. What is he going to do? He's going to call his little other friend doggos, but no matter how much he runs, we can always slow him down with constant stagnations. Looks like the little bastard tried to get a sneak attack in. Was wise to that. Now, where is he? He's run completely off. I should be back within his range now. But unfortunately for him, yeah, he's not going to be lasting too much longer. We max out this jetpack and the AP, but we've killed him. Okay, so I think you get the idea. So you're running around. The high jump function on this jetpack sort of replicates the marsupial thing, and you can get armors outside of power armor in Fallout 76 that utilize the jetpack. So yeah, I suppose that was more Fallout 76 there than not, but I think you get the idea. So there was the Cremator. I think it's devastatingly powerful utilizing the heavy barrel, but the rest of them are kind of so-so, which if that's an error of balancing, then it makes a lot of sense that maybe this thing is a little bit too good in its current present heavy barrel state. But I think it's a pretty cool weapon all around. If you do like this thing in Fallout 76 and would like to play with it in Fallout 4, then this is a really cool mod, and it's not a port, so there's nothing dodgy going on here. So again, everything's on the level, which is a huge plus, and I think it is a lore-friendly approach too, because it's a weapon made by Bethesda officially in Fallout 76, so it ticks that lore-friendly box as well. Outfits here are gal shorts and hat, the sunbonnet there, the visor. There's also VTOL fitness for the 2 chest bits there, just the standard Carla greaves on her arms from the Nuka World DLC, a normal necklace as well, and the pack haircut, which is a cool mod. I think it's just called something the pack. You can find it on hairstyles. It's a cool thing. I usually give Nina this haircut, but the bright colors and everything works well with the pack aesthetic, and it suits Carla pretty well. And if you ain't standing out, you ain't worth looking at. Anyways, that's it for me. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.